Take the journey into the unknown with SNX Radio as we delve into the enigmatic world of UFO sightings and extraterrestrial abductions. Join us for conversations with leading experts and individuals who have encountered these otherworldly beings, uncovering secrets about their experiences, contact stories, and the profound implications for humanity. Listen as we reveal the incredible narratives of those who have undergone alien abductions, shedding light on the psychological and spiritual impacts of these encounters. Explore the depths of consciousness and spirituality as we discuss how these experiences may connect us to something greater beyond our understanding.
Lights in the sky flashing bright tonight. Call a UFO taking flight outside. From the stars above, beaming down that glow. Alien party, everybody know. Heart beating fast, feel the energy rise. Hands in the air, reach up to the skies. No gravity here, we're floating free. Coley, come dance with me. Coley UFO, beam me up, lights go up, turn it up, dance on the stars, feel the cosmic drop. Coley UFO, we never gonna stop. Beam me up, UFO vibes all night. Coley, shining extra bright. Top 10 hit, we're trending worldwide. Coley UFO, take me for a ride. Extraterrestrial groove moving through the crowd. Bass hitting hard, making aliens proud. Abduction on the floor, but it's all in fun. Coley leading, yeah, she's the one. Pulse in the beat, feel the spaceship hum. Glow sticks waving, everybody come. Intergalactic rave, no time to sleep. Coley UFO, secrets we keep. Coley UFO, beam me up, lights go up, turn it up, dance on the stars, feel the cosmic drop. Coley UFO, we never gonna stop. Beam me up, UFO vibes all night. Coley shining extra bright. Shining 10 hit, we're trending worldwide. Coley UFO, take me for a ride.
Explore it, night after night. Let go. Truth drive, disclosure, non-stop. SNX crew, lead the way. Different views, here to stay. James Gilliland orbs, peaceful contact shine. East City skies where the UFOs align. Daryl W. Sims, implants cross the line. Alien hunter evidence, truth redefined. Stephen Love Ray, Phenomena connections burning. Seth Breedlove, small town monsters legends ignite. David Spinks energy, holding deep. Vibrations rising, awakening from sleep. Truth drive, explosion. SNX crew, lead the way. Different views, here to stay. Pink Bella Aloha, healing love's leap. Aloha spirit spreading peace so sweet. Bigfoot, Michigan, Rob House, footprints clear. Sasquatch trails drawing ever near. Patrick Cross Channel, Disney, 6 foot beyond, crystal clear. Dot Skinner Films, gateway disclosure pure. Capturing truths that will endure. Wonder Bob retreats, consciousness sure. Expanding minds, opening every door. SNX, truth drive.
journey into the unknown with SNX Radio as we delve into the enigmatic world of
Dial spinning past midnight, static sparks on the chrome. Name lights up on the backlit glass, calling you home. Signal in the sky, little blip on the black. Every meter in my mind, redlining on the track. I can feel that hum in the bones and the glow. Every beat says run, but the rhythm says go. Are you ready for the lift off? Are you ready for the spin? When the unknown pulls you closer, do you fight or dive right in? Calling you SNX Radio. Take the journey into the unknown. Turn it up till the speakers blow. We're chasing shadows, never alone. Calling you SNX Radio. Feel the future under your skin. Every heartbeat on the floor is a countdown. Baby, tune in. Numbers race the clock, neon blurring my eyes. Every corner that we cut draws a map in the night. I don't need a map, I just follow the tone. Every switch, every flick is a door to the zone. Are you ready for the drop now? Are you ready for the spin? When the night cracks wide open, let the strange light pour in. Calling you SNX Radio. Take the journey into the unknown. Turn it up till the speakers blow. We're chasing shadows, never alone. Calling you SNX Radio. Feel the future under your skin. Every heartbeat on the floor is a countdown. Baby, too Close your eyes, let it scan you. Every thought, every code, every scar. We are tuned to the same strange channel. Every heart like a distant star. Hey, so run with me through the glitch and the glow, where the dial never finds the end. If we're lost on this wild transmission, then get lost with me again. Calling you SNX Radio. Take the journey into the unknown. Turn it up till the speakers blow. us. Truth beyond disclosure. We want facts, we want closure. Hands up if you're tired of the cover. It's the sound of the secrets uncovered. Yo, radar lock, but they don't see nothing. Farmtown kids on the triangle hovering. Phone in his hand, got the whole thing filmed. Next day gone like it fell in a kiln. Black man's creeping, sir, that's a star. But his zigzag snaps like a muscle car. There's a base badge flash, don't take pics. Still the hanger got crap that can break physics. New spin tight with the same 10 lines, but the pilot can't sleep, sees the same 3 lights. Briefed in a room, this meeting ain't happened. Sign this paper, mine gets flattened. Flip that script when Coley goes live. Pull the tape back, play a slow rewind. Every little blur in the grain enhanced. Now the whole damn world in the trance like lights in the sky take over. Coley got the vibes, it's a takeover. Everybody in the club yelling, show us truth beyond disclosure. We want facts, we want closure. Hands up if you're tired of the cover. It's the sound of the secrets uncovered. Let's go.
Yeah, I know what I saw, don't gaslight me. Whole block froze when it slid low key. Silent silver hanging over my street, then it shot straight up like it skipped through beats. Grandma told tales, but they called her wild. Same marks on her arms since she was a child. Same humming in her bones when the sky turns green. Same tall visitor stepping into her dreams. Feel up and tasted. Pages blacked out to the truth leaked loud from a single shout. Cold case photo, same bright fear. Different decade, still the same damn fear. You can scrub that feed, you can spin that feed, but the pattern stay sharp like a laser beam. Coley in the booth, bring receipts, stack proof. Whole crowd chant when he hits that truth light.
Hands up if you see strange lines. Hands up if you heard them lies. Hands up if you're done with classify. Now scream if you want that file. Truth beyond disclosure. Truth beyond disclosure. When I say color, you say UFO. 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 When I say truth, you say let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. From the base to the rate to the back row, sighting in the jet can flip with a tic tac climbing from the dock in the lab with the metal lap in to the late night show where the story begins. This is our time, this is our show. Turn it up loud on SNX radio. If you want that file, better make that noise. Whole world sing with a million voices. Lights in the sky take over. Coley got the files, it's a takeover. Everybody on the game now show us truth beyond disclosure. When the facts leak that cover. Hands up if you're tired of the cover. This is the sound of the scenes that cover. Truth beyond disclosure. Beyond disclosure. Beyond disclosure.
Well, you know.
Welcome,
Hey,
everybody.
everybody.
Yes, we got it working. StreamYard has made some updates this weekend. As you guys know, it's been a little bit of a nightmare. We've had some things go on. So we're together. We got our crap together back. And
To be
so I just-
expected, though.
yeah, it is. It really is. We handled it well. I mean, like it's like pros. So anyway, I just wanted to thank everybody for waiting on us for a little bit of a delay, and it's so nice to see chat like popping. I was like, yeah, everybody's here. That's so awesome. So I want to just like give a shout, Gary, I got those pictures. That's amazing. That's gonna be awesome. We got Paranormal Paul coming on Friday, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, but I got those. Kitty Catty Whack. Hey, girl. And thank you so much. I saw the super cat come in, so we really appreciate that. Chiru Sounds. Nice to see you. Lori. Oh, my gosh. Welcome. And let's see here. I have like this, even it's like shrunk my StreamYard so I can see like 3 or 4 of the messages where you can usually see like whatever. Yes, and thank you so much, Kitty Catty Whack again. Thank you so much. We just greatly appreciate it. I don't want to miss anybody. I saw, let me see here.
BMR, Bigfoot
Thank
Mission,
you, Gary,
Rob, Lori
Yeah,
Ladd.
do you want to go from the bottom up? Spiritual Ascension, hey girl. And then if you hit him from Rodney's here. Rodney is in the house. Midnight Night Watchers, hey, so nice to see you guys. Blazer Blazer had the best jokes last night. Oh my gosh, we even have a name, Kurt W75. So nice to see you, Andrew. Oh my gosh, hey, yeah, he had us cracking up. It was so funny. Let's see, we got Penno of Bishops, welcome. And I don't know, Rodney, if I'm seeing some new. This is awesome. Hey, if you guys have not already, hit that like and subscribe. If I can talk, subscribe button. And seriously, and that notification bell while you're at it. And definitely, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, go and check out his channel. He's got an awesome channel over there. I highly recommend it. D-Worm, hey, you were there last night for the yeah, that was so funny. Oh my gosh, it's over on MK Invasion. Do you see anybody, Rodney, that on your end I'm going through?
No, lots of familiar faces. There is some new faces, and it's great to see this family growing so much. We're seeing Coley all over the place. She's so busy, you guys. You have no idea. It's hard to keep track of this girl. But, yeah.
Rodney, no, I really appreciate, Rodney's, like I said, you're at the heart of this. You've been at the heart of this. And so, we are always glad to have you. Yep. I see Bigfoot Michigan Robin too. Midnight Night Watchers, get over Chiru's Sons, get over there and say hello. And we got the lovely Cassie in the house. That's Rodney's wife, if you guys did not know. And did you see anybody that I missed? I hate to, you guys keep chatting. I think this is amazing. I just want to go through and if I did, I'm so sorry, and I will definitely make it up to you. But I'm going to throw this over to Rodney, and then I'm finished dropping the link live. As you know, I want to give our guests the biggest audience possible, so I want to get all this taken care of on the back end. So I'm just going to hand it right over to Rodney, and he's going to take it from there for just a minute.
Yeah, this is another great night of Off-World Wednesday, guys, and tonight's guest is Beyond One's Beliefs. His experience is unique. We got many unique cases in the community. This one here is a little different. He's got lots of evidence. He's got DNA evidence. He's got pictures. He's got video. He's got an artifact. And he's got a dog that is no longer here with us. We're all dog lovers. His experience started in the Cascade Mountains in the same year, 96, as the Virginia case. You guys are familiar with that, but his happened in October. And he's been through a lot. And we're here tonight to document what Jonathan Reed has gone through. We're going to keep it basic for you guys, so you guys that aren't familiar with him get to know who he is. But his experiences were very, very traumatic. People say they wish they could have an experience. You should really think twice sometimes. See if you're ready for it. These things change your life, and it turned Dr. Reed's upside down. There's nobody like John. I'm not able to bring him out. There's John.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, John. Thanks for joining us tonight. Sorry we had all the difficulties. We're gonna make that magic happen.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So yeah, you've been in the community for quite some long time now. How many? It's been 3
been
decades.
30 years since my event happened back in 1996. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, we got the 30-year anniversary coming up for you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's for sure. But it's taken me around the world several times talking to other people who have had experiences and contact. And it's been a whirlwind, I'll tell you. It's been really, really something. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to let me share with you my experience.
Yeah, well, thank you for taking the time. For many of you guys, Jonathan has taken the time. He's had himself a stroke, so bear with us. If you guys are familiar with him, he's still the same guy, but we're gonna get through this. And yeah.
Hey, I appreciate it. Sometimes my words get a little caught in the middle, but I come out of it. I've done really well rehabilitating, so I'm on the mend, and I appreciate the courtesy of you guys letting me speak to you.
Yeah, you got a unique case here, and this all started in '96. And
yeah, if you'd like me to kind of rehash the story, I'd be more than happy to do that for your audience that maybe doesn't know of this case.
Yeah, there's a lot
Uh,
of people that aren't familiar with your case, even though you should be one of the ones at the top of the leaderboard. But
well, I don't know about that, but all I know is it changed my whole life. Uh, Back in the day, back in 1996, I was a doctor of psychiatrics for children, developmental psychiatrics in Washington State. I worked at the University of Washington Medical Center, and I had been there for some time.
So you worked in psychiatry for children? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I was a children's therapist for 7 years. So I can relate to that. That's good to know.
Okay, great. That's great. Anyway, I'd been doing it for a long time. I really enjoyed my career. Was, you know, spent half my life in school to get to the point where I was. And again, I just really enjoyed what I had to offer to people. And on this day, I took an afternoon off and decided to go for a hike in the woods with my dog, Susie. I had a 7-year-old golden retriever who loved to go everywhere with me. I mean, she was practically my stand-up companion, and everybody knew her. Everybody loved her. She was a great, great dog. So we got in my Jeep. We took off in the afternoon and drove east to the Cascade Mountains, where we had been many times before, spending, hours walking down old logging roads and just enjoying the wilderness. This was, late in the autumn, so things were starting to change. The leaves were changing, and it was getting cooler in the afternoon, but it was still a great day for a nice hike. So that's what we were doing. We got out of my Jeep. We walked for about an hour down this logging road. And from time to time, Susie would take off and run off the leash freely in the woods and chase raccoons and squirrels and, just doing dog stuff. And, they have so much fun when they're not cooped up. And she was enjoying nature. And she'd bark a few times, then she'd come running back, and she was a good girl. This time, she started barking and ran off to where I couldn't see her. I really couldn't visually see her, but I could hear her barking, which wasn't unusual. But all of a sudden, the barking changed. It became more of a defensive barking. And if you've ever had a dog, you learn to understand their language and their tone.
You can pick up on their energy. Yeah, you can tell your dog was more aggressive and it was
Absolutely.
defensive.
And all of a sudden, she was barking very aggressively, and to the point where I could hear her starting to yelp like something was aggressively trying to get after her. So I dropped my pack. I picked up a large baseball bat sized branch that happened to be laying on the ground in case I had to detangle her. We have bear, we have wildcat, we have all sorts of critters in the Pacific Northwest. So I felt if I needed to untangle her, I wanted to have something to do it. So that's why I picked up the branch. I still couldn't see her. I couldn't find her, but I could hear this yelping and increasingly angry barking coming. So I ran forward, and there's a very heavy underbrush in this area. So it's very difficult at times to see very far, more than like 20 feet. And as I moved forward, knew I was getting closer to her, and I felt like I was coming upon something that was a violent scene, and I was concerned. I was very concerned. And I jumped through the brush about 5 feet and landed. And what did I see but my dog in the midst of a a crisis, being thrown by the throat back and forth like this, as fast as you could even imagine. She was being thrown by this creature. It was a dark canopy area, so it wasn't very bright. I had a hard time seeing exactly what I was looking at, but it was a creature about 4 feet tall, had her by the throat, and within seconds, he crushed her skull and her body fell to the ground in ash, like ash from your fireplace. Just an incredibly terrible sight. And I didn't know what to think. I had no time to think. I just took one step forward, took that bat and hit the creature as hard as I could in the head, hoping to stop this insanity. It was just terrible. It was just
I bet.
absolutely insane.
I mean, people like to think that you wouldn't be able to phase one of these beings by hitting it with something, but you caught it off guard, and I mean, you have an adrenaline rush. I mean, I put myself in a position like which you could have been in. You'll do anything to save your dog.
Well, exactly. And again, I didn't even have time to think about what I was looking at. All I wanted to do was stop the crazy action that I was witnessing, which I didn't even know what I was witnessing. So at that moment, I hit the creature in the back of his head because he had turned at that moment, and he fell to the ground. And in that second, I fell to the ground also with a crippling sickness. I mean, nausea, terrible diarrhea, no muscle control, absolute weakness all over my body. And that just contributed to the insanity that was going through my mind. I had no idea. I couldn't breathe. I felt like something was pressing on my chest. So I just laid on the ground for quite a while before I could even pick up my head and look face to face with what was laying not 6 feet in front of me.
I
It
can
was
imagine being
terrible.
You know, I
Yeah.
can relate to this too because I had a dog, Sophia, who I had for 17 years. And if I saw somebody crushing her skull, I wouldn't care who or what it was. I would grab something and yeah. Did you know? So you're saying like you didn't know exactly what this creature was. You
I
just
had
saw
no
your
idea.
dog was crushed and then it turns around and then, yeah. So you whacked it in the head. That sounds.
Yeah, let me just
I would
add
have
here.
done the same. I would have done
Yeah.
the same.
It was not a forethought. It was an unconscious act just to try to stop the insanity. First of all, I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what this little guy who was about 4 feet tall, gray, covered in a black suit from the neck down. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. And I was, out in the middle of the woods and there was nowhere to go. There was no way to let up from this insanity, this insane move. And when I found myself laying on the ground, I was looking at something I had no idea what it was. Now, previous to this, I wasn't into science fiction or UFOs or ufology or anything at all. I was a medical doctor. I had spent almost 15 years going to college to get a degree to help children. So I didn't have a lot of time where I was really interested in science fiction or anything else. So my mind was as far from this as you could imagine. What I was thinking is, I'm going to die. My body was so in stress and emotional distress that I felt like I was going to die. And my concern at that moment when I was on the ground, how am I going to get out of here? I'm, 2 hours back from where my car was parked, my Jeep, and I had to find a way to get back there to be able to get out of the woods. It was now about 2:50 in the afternoon, and it gets dark in the forest early, especially at that time of the year. So my mind was reeling about trying to find some logic, some reason to understand what was happening, which I couldn't find any. So
So
that
how long did you sit there before you decided, what
well,
you were going to do?
before I could actually get up was at least a half hour to 45 minutes. My muscles and my legs and my arms and my body just wouldn't work. It was like I had been stepped on, and 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 I couldn't breathe. I was panting and gasping for breath like I couldn't get any air. So all this going on at once led me to believe something terrible happened to me as well as the creature that I hit with this bat. And I couldn't put it together. My mind wouldn't come up with a scenario that worked for me. So what I did is I thought, okay, I have to slow my breathing down. I've got to find some kind of composure to be able to get out of the woods. And so I went through the process thinking about slowing down my breathing and sitting up. And I knew I had some water in my backpack, which was about 10 feet away. So if I could crawl back there, that would give me some water to relax and try to slow down my breathing. I crawled up to where my backpack was. I opened my pack. I had a day pack with just some dog food, a thermal blanket, no tools to speak of, and a canteen of water. So, and I had some cameras with me because I took pictures of nature and critters and all that kind of stuff as kind of an amateur photographer. But
Yeah, and at that time, now a lot of people, cell phones were available, but I mean, even if you did, the
well,
signal wouldn't work.
they didn't have cameras in them in those days. You
Right.
know, in 1996, that was before the day of everybody having a camera. But when I took the cameras out of my backpack to get to my water, I thought, my camera, I know how to work my camera. That makes sense. That makes logical sense to me and gave me some solace of knowing what I was looking at instead of my mind just reeling off the end and not knowing what to do. So I drank some water. I tried to calm down, and I thought, okay, I'm going to take some pictures of this on the ground, and maybe nothing will come out. Maybe none of this is real. I didn't know. My mind could not formulate an absolute opinion. So I started taking pictures. I had a little video camera with me. I took some video of the creature on the ground and of this other black humming object that was about 60 feet away that I called the obelisk. It was a pointed on the front and back end, no doors, no windows, no wheels, no landing gear, but nevertheless, it was 3.5 feet off the ground, not touching the ground, not moving. It was anchored to the air in one place. And again, insanity. Why is this happening to me? What is going on? I had no idea. Again, I took pictures, I took video, I took everything I had. And then I decided I've got to get out of here. I got to find a way out of here. And maybe I can bring somebody back to see this body, this situation. And I thought, well, maybe I should cover it up so that animals don't get to it and start to eat it or drag it off. So I had this thermal blanket, which is a mylar plastic blanket that you use in case you're have to stay overnight in the woods to keep you warm. And it's very lightweight. And I opened it up and I thought, well, maybe I can cover that up with this. And to be honest, I really didn't want to look at it. And as I started to cover it up, I noticed that I moved part of it and it was very, very light in weight. I mean, it didn't seem like it should be so light. And so I slid the blanket underneath part of it with my hands touching only the thermal blanket because I didn't want to touch it. I did not want to touch it. And as I slid under, I could see that it was light, and I actually kind of rolled it into this thermal blanket like you roll up a sleeping bag. And when I did so, I realized it's so light. It's incredibly light. I mean, it was like 20 or 30 pounds. And that was incredible to me, that something as big as a child that's 7 years old or 8 years old could be so light in weight. So I pulled
How much did your dog weigh that you were out there with?
80 pounds.
80 pounds. So this would definitely feel lighter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my dog was a full-size golden retriever.
Okay.
And I just rolled the blanket up around this thing and tucked in. And I thought, okay, well, I can find a place maybe by the path somewhere and kind of hide it and cover branches. Well, there weren't any extra big boughs of branches. And this is right around the tree line in the mountains. So I thought, well, maybe I can find a place closer to where I had parked my Jeep. So I picked it up with the straps from my pack that I put around it so that I could carry it. And I just started to walk as best I could, and stopping to throw up about every 30 feet, because I was a mess. I was just a terrible, terrible mess with sickness because it was crippling. And I walked and I thought, how am I ever going to get back to my Jeep? Because it took me an hour to get to where I was. And then all of a sudden I noticed I was back where my Jeep was parked, which again didn't make any sense, but
Jonathan, can we back up real quick?
Yes.
Did you already find the link bracelet at that point when you were wrapping the being up in the blanket?
Yes, when I was wrapping the body up under some ferns that were close by, I saw this silvery looking piece of metal. In fact, when I first saw it, I thought it was like a soda can, like a bent soda can. And I looked closer, and then I picked it up, and it wasn't. It was just this weird piece of silver metal that had some black etchings on it. And I had no idea what it was, but again, I just put it in with the body and wrapped it up in the same package and brought it home. And got back to my Jeep, was astounded that I had got back to my Jeep so quickly. Got in my Jeep, sat in the driver's seat, and just sat there for a moment, trying to catch my breath and realizing my dog was not sitting next to me. And she always was sitting next to me in the car. And I looked in the rearview mirror and I could see the top of this silvery gold thermal blanket in the rearview mirror, and I knew something had happened. So
I can't believe you had everything to keep yourself from bashing this thing's brains, and more than what you did, honestly.
So what you're saying is that once you got to your truck, you started to realize what had happened, or you kind of blacked it out, or how?
Well, to be honest, Coley, my mind kept slipping back and forth to what was real, what I could imagine was real, and what could not have been real. I didn't want to realize that any of this happened. I didn't want to realize my dog was dead, because that was so mortifying to me that, she was such a companion for so long with me. I just didn't want to believe that happened. So I kept thinking, I don't know what happened. I don't even know at this point what's in the thermal blanket. But I know I'm back in my Jeep, and I know I got to try to get home, and it's starting to get dark. And I just kept thinking, I've got to slow my breathing down. I've got to stop throwing up if I can. I even had to stop the car after I started it because of being so sick. Because I'd get out and I'd throw up again and again until
And are you
nothing.
still recording at this point? Because you said you had your camera out at some point
No,
recording.
no,
No.
nothing was being recorded or done after I carried the body back to my Jeep. I mean, I just had no sense of any kind of reality. I didn't know what to do. I don't know if you can imagine that, but your
Well,
mind.
I was a therapist, so I'm trying to understand the state that you were in. So you know what I mean? Like I worked as a clinical therapist for 7 years, so I'm
I was
trying in
an
my mind.
emotional wreck.
What kind of, like, let's say, because you worked in, like, what diagnosis would you have put on that? Would you say you were like in shock? What would you say was happening right at that moment?
Trauma, terrible trauma, and
Of course.
an emotional wreck. And my mind was reeling between reality and whatever else I saw happen, which I didn't want to believe. So, if somebody wants to believe that you are, falling into an insane trauma, that's probably a good explanation because none of it made any sense to me. In my rational mind, there just was no rationale of what had happened and what was going on. And as a human, that's what we try to do. We try to rationalize what we've seen and what we've experienced. Well, none of this made any sense. None of it. Plus, on top of that, I was physically ill. I mean, I was throwing up. I had exploded my bowels, and all my muscle control was gone in my bowels. So I was an absolute mess. And all I wanted to do was try to get out of the woods and try to get home to where I could get some help, feel better. And on top of it all, the fact that I had seen my dog killed in front of me was unbelievably traumatic. I mean, that's like a child being ripped apart in front of you. I don't know what else to say about that. It's just such an emotional trauma that your mind doesn't even want to realize that it's happening.
And you've
But
never had a dog
nevertheless, it
since
did.
then either, have you?
Pardon?
You've never had a dog since then either, have you?
Well, I've had a lot of people share their dogs with me. I've never wanted to get another one because I've been nomadic in my lifestyle, and I don't think it's good for a dog to be, not have a permanent home all the time, and I haven't had that. So
Yeah.
to conclude the story, as far as what happened in the woods, I drove home. I thought about stopping at the ranger station. I drove up to the ranger station. It was closed. There was no one around. I got back in my Jeep. I got back on the road. It was about 50 minutes to my home from that point. I drove straight home and drove into my car port and just sat there in the car for quite a long time, not knowing what to do, what to think, not even wanting to think beyond what had happened. And I could look in the rearview mirror and I could still see the thermal blanket, the top of the thermal blanket. So I knew something had happened. I even had imagined that maybe my dog had gotten killed and I had wrapped my dog up in the thermal blanket. So my mind was reeling from one thought to another, really no conclusion made. But as I got out of my car in the carport, I thought, well, where am I going to put this package that's wrapped up in my Jeep? So I thought, well, my garage is right here, and I have a chest freezer in the garage, an older chest freezer, and I thought this is going to start decomposing unless I do something. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just set it in the freezer. So that's what I did. I took it out of the back of the Jeep. I walked in to my garage, opened the freezer, took out the basket of a few frozen vegetables, and set the entire thermal blanket package in the freezer and closed the door. And then I closed the garage door and I went in the house and stood in the shower for I don't know how long with all my clothes on, trying to peel off all of the situation that had happened. It was a mess. It was a mess. And I was happy to be home. I had stopped panting and breathing so hard, so I felt better, but I still didn't know really what to think, what to do. And so at that point I was home and I decided I would call my girlfriend. I called her. She wasn't home. I left her a message. This was in the days of the answering machine. I called my best friend. Same thing. He wasn't home. I left him a message. I told him, I said, Susie's dead and I need help. Help me. And I left that message. And after a while, he called me back and he came over. So
Your
that's,
best friend that was?
say again?
That was your best friend you're talking about who responded, and then he came over?
Yes, that was Gary, my best friend, a guy that I'd known from high school days, for 20 some years, 25 years.
Yeah,
And
and how do you break the ice when he comes over to exactly what happened? I mean, it wasn't that easy just
Yeah,
to.
you've got a body in your freezer now.
well,
You
Yeah.
know?
I at the beginning I didn't tell him that. What I told him
Yeah.
was I
just
said,
need ya.
I'm
It's like
really
one of those
sick.
calls.
Susie is dead. Susie was killed in the forest. This is kind of what happened. And of course, he didn't believe me. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't have either. And he said, well, we got to get you some help. And I said, damn it, you don't realize what's happened. You don't realize the insanity that's gone on. And he says, well, I'm here to listen. And I said, okay, I have a videotape. I'll show you the videotape. And he says, a videotape? And I said, yeah, of the woods, of what happened and what I was involved with. So I showed him the videotape. And as he watched the videotape on my television, his face got whiter and whiter, and he was more in shock from watching that. And afterwards, he said, where did this happen? How did this happen? What were you doing? And I said, this is what happened, just what I told you. This all happened, this insanity. And he says, well, I find it hard to believe. I said, well, come with me to the garage. Come with me. I'll show you what's in my freezer. And I did. I showed him. And he was out of his mind once he saw what I took
Did
out
he
of the
jump?
freezer. I laid on the floor and I opened the thermal blanket and showed him this body. And we wrapped it up. I put it back in the freezer. We walked back in the house, not saying a word to either one of us. Got down, sat on my couch for I don't know how long without saying a word. And
Yeah, that's
he
a lot to
said,
process.
So why would you describe that and not the dog? Or when you saw the dog, is the dog still back at the location then?
the dog was gone. The dog was killed and turned into ash, like
Oh, it
from your
turns into
fireplace.
ashes. But well, you said when you were looking back in the rearview mirror, you saw silver. That's why I was not sure what you were talking about. I apologized.
It's okay. It's difficult to understand. What I said was, I looked in the rearview mirror and I saw the thermal blanket And I wondered if my dog was there, if I had transposed this whole idea, if it
If you
was my
created,
dog instead of this alien's body. My
yeah,
mind would not let me conceive that correctly.
yeah. It was like creating a screen memory. You were wondering if you were created a screen memory that you actually killed your dog and wrapped it up instead of the being that
Yeah.
was in there.
Right.
And then with all the training you had, because you said you're a doctor in psychology, is that correct?
Correct.
Did any of that so I'm wondering, if you could kind of clinically break that down for me, what was going on at that time?
What I tried to explain is that in the midst of all of this happening and me getting violently ill,
Mm-hmm.
my mind
No. I mean,
wasn't.
like you're stating like at this you show your friend, you're like, I've got this thing, it's in the freezer, and you're still like you're in despair. Is correct?
And I'm still sick,
Okay.
throwing up,
Okay.
no
Yeah.
control of my bowels or my bladder. I mean, just a mess. And I didn't know if I was going to die because of that. I was more concerned at that moment of my health and not as concerned with what was in the freezer because I didn't want to think about that. Thinking about that made me think about my dog being killed, your child being killed. I didn't want to think about that. My mind didn't want to go there. So, as far as clinically thinking about my own state of mind, no, I was not doing that. I was not analyzing anything at that point. It took me days before I could even process what had happened. This was not a simple situation.
No, it's not. So how long did it take you to go back? So, well, it's you. So you and your best friend are in the living room. You just looked at this being and went back, and now you got to be discussing like, wow, where do we go from here? I mean, do
Exactly.
we?
That's exactly what we were saying. And I said, I don't know. I have no idea. And he said, well, I think I know what this is. And I said, I don't want to know what it is. All I want to do is be able to deal with this rationally. And he told me, he said, well, I think it's an extraterrestrial. And I said, I don't want to hear that. He said, I don't want to believe that. I can't even believe what's happening to my body physically. I felt like I was exposed to like radiation. My body was so sick.
Well,
And I
is
only
that
came to that
because?
I only came to that conclusion days and days later that I had all the symptoms of radiation poisoning.
Well, we did skip past a little bit where you approached the craft. Also, was that before you
Well,
wrapped Freddy up?
yes, that was. I heard a sound. I heard a sound drifting through the air in the forest, and it was a low ebbing harmonic tone, so low I could almost feel it in my backbone, just a low ebbing sound. And I thought, well, maybe it's a hiker, maybe it's another hiker, which I could use the help. And so I stood up and I fell back down and I leaned against a tree and I thought, well, maybe there's a hiker coming down the path. Maybe they've got a radio or a boom box and that's the sound that's coming. But there was no one. And I got up, walked about 30 feet, fell back down, got up again, walked another 30 feet, and fell down a little ravine that was covered up by a lot of foliage. So I lost my footing and I fell. And as I fell against this black thing that I call the obelisk. It's a six-sided, blunt-ended craft. I've sent you pictures, and unfortunately, you're not using them. But it was three and a half feet off the ground, just anchored in the air, not moving, not movable, no landing gear, nothing. but anchored in place in the air. And I fell against it. I touched it, and it was cold like dry ice. In fact, it pulled the skin off the center of my hand when I pulled my hand away. And I got up, and there it was, just there, sitting there, not moving.
And it was like
Again,
shimmering.
insanity.
At one point, it started like shimmering and moving in a strange way.
No,
Was
it
that
never moved. It never,
didn't-
ever moved.
it never ever moved? Okay.
Nope. And it was as black as black. It almost was like granite or marble. And it was just stuck in one place in the air. I mean, the best way to say it is it was anchored in the air. And I took pictures of it. I took video of it. I walked all around it. There was nothing underneath it. There was no foliage under it. I pulled some of the ferns and small bushes that were kind of under it away and took pictures of it. Still 35 millimeter pictures. I took video of it. You can see it clearly in the video. You can see it clearly in the photographs. It's like nothing I could have ever imagined. And what was it? Was it a toolbox? Was it a vehicle? It was small. It was like 12 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 2 feet high. So it seemed to be too small for some kind of a craft. So I've never wanted to call it a craft. But I don't know what it was. It never moved. The whole time I was there, it never, ever moved. And the next day, my friend and I, Gary, went back to find it, to see it, to drag it out of the woods if possible. And there was nothing there. It was like nothing had ever happened in that location. Even the plants and the ferns that I had ripped out with my hands looked like they had never been touched, like it all had either been replanted or I don't know what happened. But nothing was there. Nothing. So again, I'm left with a situation that I can't rationalize. I can't realize. I don't know what this was. So that was my dilemma. I had no resources to go to figure out what this was. And to understand what had happened, because none of it made any sense to me. You there, Rodney? Hello? Well, I guess I'm off the air. I guess I'm talking to no one.
I'm muted. I did not realize I was muted. I was muted from before. I apologize. Rodney he's froze right now. It's just going to take him a minute to get back on, so we're just going to continue if that's okay.
Okay, Coley, I can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me?
Yes.
Let's see. The audience can you guys tell me if my audio level is low? Is it still Blazer or nobody can hear it? Because I'm showing that I have audio on my end. Is it okay now?
No,
and
it's still, it's like 20%.
Is everybody's saying that it's good, and I'm showing that all the bars are good. So if you want,
okay.
We could. Okay, it's okay now. Before it was, I did have it. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you, Cassie. Okay, yeah, everybody's saying it's good on their end. It was muted for just a second, so you were talking. I was reading the thing. So please continue.
Well, where we're at is trying to understand. I was trying to understand what had happened, what was going on, and within 8 hours, I was getting phone calls from my assistant at work saying, "Hey, Jonathan, are you moving? Are you changing offices?" And I said, "No." And he says, well, there's a bunch of guys in here with hand trucks, and they're taking out all of our filing cabinets. And he says, well, there's a bunch of guys in here with
Oh, you got
hand trucks.
Rodney's back on. Rodney,
Hello?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm
it's
sorry.
echoing. Yeah. Is it good now?
Yeah, I just got kicked off of StreamYard, guys. I'm sorry. I had no connection on my phone, but I did on my laptop. But
I saw
see if
your
we can keep it
your
going.
message come through chat. I told him. So yeah, we're
Well,
good.
Okay.
Sometimes when I'm being interviewed, there's a lot of technical difficulties, and I put it up to people who maybe don't want us to tell this story.
Well, that's all right. We're gonna get this story out, and we're gonna get it documented for you, Jonathan. So
Well,
you
all I can say is, and I want people to understand something. If this didn't happen to me, if it didn't personally happen to me, if I didn't witness all of this myself and have the evidence that I've been able to secure, all the photographs, all the videotape, and a whole lot more, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't believe this story either. So
if
I
you
want
didn't
you to know,
document all that stuff, you probably wouldn't be here right now because they would actually been able to erase you. Like, I mean, we didn't get that far into the story yet, but
well, we haven't gotten to the point, but I'm going to say it.
So okay, let's recap where we're at here. So you're saying that this thing's in your freezer, you don't know what you're gonna do with it. You go back to work the next day, or you just didn't
No,
wanna
I called my work. I
And then
didn't go back to work.
Okay, so you go back and they're in your office, but that's very sensitive material. They're taking out clinical notes, or they're taking out medical.
Well, they were taking
records?
everything. And I had not requested this. I had ordered nobody to do anything with my office or anything in it. And my assistant said, they said they're authorized. And I said, well, where's the authorization? I said, call, either the chancellor or the head of the medical unit and get somebody in there because nobody's supposed to be taking anything.
No, they
So
can't
I
just
hung
walk in
up.
there and do that.
That's what happened. And then an hour later, I made a call just to check something. I said, I want to get a hold of Dr. Reed in the psych department. Can you patch me through to him? And they put me on hold and came back and said, there's no Dr. Reed working in this facility.
Who said that? Did you recognize the
The
person?
person on the other end of the phone.
Yeah, but was that somebody that answers the phone there that
No,
you
this
would normally
was just
talk
somebody
to?
that normally wouldn't have been answering the phone, that did not identify themselves. So I
So they
was
removed-
being technically erased.
and they didn't just remove your credentials from your place of work either. They went to your bank and removed everything from there from you.
They destroyed my life.
Yeah.
I mean, they took my bank account. They took all of my credentials, all of my accreditation from 3 different universities was gone, was absolutely gone. There was no verification of my employment, was gone. Okay,
All right,
who has the ability to do that, to erase that kind of stuff, practically overnight? Well, I mean, you can make up your own mind, but I know that the answer is government is really the only one that has the ability to do that. And I started looking for answers. I started saying, why could this be happening? What is going on? And little by little, we found
What are your
people.
colleagues saying, Jonathan? Are they saying, "Hey," because this is a huge deal. People don't know
I'm
that
sorry,
you worked.
I couldn't hear what you said.
Okay, I'm saying this is what were your colleagues saying? Because I worked in a private practice, right? And if they came in and they touched those records, because our job was to protect those records with our lives. Nobody could get
Absolutely.
in unless a state officer came in with a badge. No, what are your colleagues saying to this then?
Well,
what are the
after I
people
had
around you
after I
saying,
had a
like-
chance to talk with some of them independently, they said that some of the men that came in there showed official documentation from the government saying that I was a threat to the hospital and to the administration, and that I was under investigation. They wouldn't give out any other information other than they said that they were confiscating all material that I was connected with. They signed off on this material, and the police department was with them.
So they took all your clinical files and they took all of that
They
stuff
took
out?
everything. They took even paper from the trash bin. They took
So-
the fire files that were
I'm
in my
just
office.
thinking in my head, like, I know my clients and I knew them well. Did you ever go to them and say, hey, can I get you to verify? You know, because if they've taken their records, my guess is you're not held and bound like you normally would be under a licensed or being licensed by the behavioral board, you know, in your state.
I talked to everybody. They were also told not to review or mention the name of Dr. Jonathan Reed under the penalty of losing their own job and being prosecuted.
Now, was that all going on while
Coley,
Freddie was?
in 30 years, there are 14 people who are dead because they tried to help me. People who worked with me, people who assisted me, friends, members of my family, people who were in the community, the UFO community.
I'm just
They're
saying, people
dead.
who are listening to this, if we have some verifiable information, that's going to help build your case. It's not going to help because there's a lot of things out there, Jonathan, that come against this, and I'm trying to give you a way to, hey, give us a reasonable explanation. Like, for example,
Coley.
your girlfriend says you're allergic to dogs, that you would never have had one. So it'd be really
Coley.
beneficial if we could see pictures of that, or we could see, you know, that's all I'm saying. It would
Coley.
help you.
I'm going to tell you that when I first came out and talked about this, some people approached me, Colonel Wendell Stevens, Donald Ware, Robert Dean, Dr. John Mack, Dan McAvoy. All these people said, we want to build a case file of your story. We want to do the research and verify all these things and document all of this. And I said, well, a lot of it can be documented, but a lot of it can't. They said, that's okay. We'll do it. I said, great, let's do it. Dan McAvoy and a couple other people spent over 2 years walking in my shoes, getting to know me, my family, my community, where I lived, where I worked, believe it or not. We were actually asked to leave the hospital because one of the guards says, Dr. Reed, you know you can't be in here. Okay. They even said my name was not verifiable. None of my credentials were
But
verifiable.
your name isn't Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's the name you go under. Your name's not Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry to tell
Well,
you,
there's
but yes,
people-
it is.
Right, there's people in the community that say that your name is Jonathan Ritter. Jonathan Ritter.
Yes.
That's-
Why do they say that?
Because it's Jonathan Reed Rudder.
Ritter.
I used my middle name when I wrote the book, trying to isolate people and patients and other criteria so that I wouldn't bring this disaster into more people's lives. There's a lot of authors that make changes in their name.
No, we're not saying that, but we were saying with your name that you were going that so people can verify. Hey, we could go to the medical board of health here and see. But
No,
that,
you
that
can't.
was
No, you can't. It's not there, Coley. It's not. Either name. It's
then you
not
would have
there.
you have paper documents of something. Then you'd have paper
No, I
documents.
don't. Everything from my house was stolen. Everything was destroyed. Everything.
So when you went to Mexico next, you had to
No, I
like
went
smuggle.
to Canada. I
You
went to Canada for almost a year. and lived in my car and outside and with other people that would house me, that would allow me to live because I was being hunted like a
Right.
fugitive.
All right. So you probably couldn't go across like regular customs. Did you have to
I've been
sneak
shot
in?
3 times.
Did you have to sneak into Canada and not? Did you
Yes.
go through the regular
Yes.
port?
How'd you get in? Which
I
way
walked
did you
across
take?
the border. There's all kinds of ways to between the United States and Canada where there's no border wall, there's no fences, there's no nothing. And in those days, this is way back when, there wasn't an issue.
Yeah,
See,
there still is.
because you don't really know this case, there are huge amounts of situation that you're not aware of. That
I
people
understand that.
have investigated this
I
and they've
understand that.
found
I'm just trying to
multitudes.
help build your case here for you and give you, because I know what is said in the public. I know how divisive this was at the time it came out. It's really not that funny. I know how divisive this was.
No,
and I'm
what's
trying to
funny?
give you an opportunity here, and you're getting mad at me
No,
on
no,
the
no,
defense
no. You're
when I'm
mistaken.
trying to really help you to provide these answers for people.
What she's asking, Jonathan, is how can someone you've never been able to verify your name, Jonathan Reed Redder, but there
Yes,
are
I have.
people in. All
Yes,
right,
I have.
all right, yes, you are Jonathan Reed Redder. You verified it.
No, but yet you're not listening. What I have is I have verified it. People spent 2 years investigating me. They know all of these issues. They walked in my shoes. They knew my family. They got to know people I worked with. They went to the universities that I graduated from where there is no record that I graduated, but they talked to professors and other students.
Could they write it down on a letter and we could see it? You could show everybody then.
It was all verified, yes. Dan McAvoy has reams of verification.
When's the last time that you stepped in the United States soil? Have you been back since you left?
Yes, I have.
Do you have Canadian citizenship right now? Is what you're saying?
No,
right?
I don't. I have U.S. citizenship. They
But,
they invalidated my passport. Within the first 2 years, I hired a law firm to find out why I couldn't use my passport. They did. They got no answers. They said that I was a fugitive for unknown reasons. And then they basically said, we can't release any other information on him because it's an ongoing investigation. Well, the law firm sent a letter back to the government saying, if you don't release his passport, we're going to publish in the newspapers of all of the United States' largest cities that the reason you won't give him his passport is because he found an extraterrestrial in the woods of Washington State. I had my passport within a week of that.
so the United States didn't want to recognize that you even existed, but Canada is what you're saying would give you citizenship. Well, it is
No, what
confusing.
I'm saying is they didn't want the difficulty of verifying why they took my passport. So they gave it back. They didn't want to be further investigated.
All right, we did jump ahead a little bit further than we needed to, kind of for where we were at. But so
Where's
can
the
we jump?
body at? What
Yeah.
happened to the body?
On the 9th day, after I had seen my house being torn apart and ransacked, I went back a few hours later and they had destroyed my house. They had taken everything in my house of value, pictures, folders, papers, all kinds of documentation. They ripped apart the furniture, piled it in the middle of the floor, and punched holes in the floor, the ceiling, and the walls, looking for something, probing for something. Took the toilets off the facility in the floor and just left it laying with water spraying everywhere. I went to the garage. They had taken a whole cord of cut wood. Now tell me what that is about. And taken the freezer, the entire freezer. So I assumed at that point they had the body. Well, they didn't. What I saw on the floor was wet, small footprints walking right to the wall, not to the door, not to the window, but right through the wall. So I assumed maybe he got away. Well, a month later, he appeared. And what you haven't heard is 3 days after I brought him home, he reanimated. He was not dead. He was unconscious, playing possum, healing, whatever you want to assume. But he was not dead. And he reanimated and literally materialized in front of me in the house. And he's been doing this for the last 30 years. He's been a constant companion at least once or twice a month, minimally.
Right now?
Other people have seen him. Other people have witnessed these situations. This is not just me telling this story.
He comes still twice a month? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he comes twice a month. I'm
How does
sorry
he get
if
there?
I sound frustrated.
No,
but
no,
you
no.
have
I'm trying to understand. This is all new now. How does he get there?
Oh, he took an Uber, Coley.
Yeah, I figured he probably jumped in an Uber and reanimated.
Yeah,
How does he get
that's
there? How
it.
does he get there? How does he
You
get
tell
there?
me. You
I
tell
don't
me.
know. I'm
How do you
wondering.
tell? How do you
If somebody
explain?
asked me these questions,
How do you
I
explain
would- I
when
would,
something
like, be
just
like,
materialized
I wouldn't be
in the
upset.
corner of your room?
But that's what I'm asking. How did he get there if he materialized? Because my understanding was at the 8th day or 9th day, it didn't rise again. But you know what I mean? Like, I thought, Rodney, did you know? I didn't know. I'm trying to understand this, Jonathan.
Yes, Rodney
this-
knew.
Yeah, this is a little bit new for Coley. She's not familiar with your case completely, Jonathan. But yeah, after the 9th day is when he opened the freezer, right? And this thing
It started
sat up.
mush,
No,
right?
that was the third day.
When he sat up,
From the day I brought the body home, I assumed it was dead. It wasn't breathing. It wasn't moving. I had taken the body in and out of the freezer several times a day to show it to different colleagues, different people, my family, put it back in the freezer. It was not moving. On the third day, I was going out to the garage where the body was in the freezer, and I was going to put away a table and some lights I had set up because another person was going to come over to see it, to basically take a look. This person called at the last moment, said, "I'm not coming. I don't think you should be doing this." I had a totally different attitude than he'd ever had with me. So something had happened.
so
I
somebody
went out to the
approached him.
garage, put
Because
the
it was
lights
said
and the
that you
tape.
had done an autopsy on it.
Let me finish. I went to the garage, put the lights and the table away, and I heard a rubbing or a scratching sound that was coming from like underneath the freezer. And I thought, oh, it's an older freezer. The compressor's probably going out, and I'm going to have to find another place to put this. So that was my thought. I walked over to the freezer. I opened the top to check the thermometer that's on the inside of the door to tell you how cold it is, to tell you if the freezer is functioning. And when I did so, this little creature sat up out of the end of the thermal blanket and started screaming at me with such intensity that it physically pushed me across the garage. It was a defensive move. It was insane. It was loud, forceful. I just left the freezer open I ran out of there, went in the house, closed the door, and was scared to death. I had no idea. I figured this thing's going to kill me now, since I tried to kill it. I went
Yeah,
back
I
out
thought
a few hours later, and it had kind of settled down. It had stopped screaming, but it was moving. I could see that it was moving really slowly, like it had been hurt, obviously, with a wound in its head that was 2.5 inches that had breached its skull. I assumed it had bled out. I assumed that it was dead, but it wasn't. It was moving and looking at me with these huge eyes.
Now, is that when you brought it out? Like when she
That
said autopsy, is that when, no, before or after that point is when you brought it out and started examining it on a table?
the second day after I brought the body home, Gary and I took the video camera and I opened it, laid it on the floor, opened the thermal blanket, looked at its eyes, its arms, legs, the wound in its head, the way the wound was cut into its head. I moved it. I opened its eyes, its eyelids, opened its mouth. It definitely didn't seem alive to me at that point. We videotaped all of that.
And later on, you went back. Well, you took DNA samples from it at that point too, and sent it to
I took
Washington
blood and
University.
tissue samples from the wound in its head, which I had taken to the University of Washington pathology, the head pathologist, who is somebody I knew. I said, I'd like to have a chromosome test done on this. And he said, okay, I'll tell you whatever I find.
So these are the same people that took all your documents, so they're
Say again?
okay. They're
I
okay.
can't hear you.
It's convenient.
No, the people
just
that he
can't
gave
hear
it
you.
to, the people that he gave the samples to were people at Washington University. Wasn't the same people that came to his house and invaded his space. No.
No,
Correct.
it's at the same hospital though, right?
Yes.
He worked
No.
at.
Well,
Yes.
Was
the
it a
DNA
hospital?
the DNA samples were done and performed by a guy named Dr. Roger Haggett. And he was the head of the pathology department at the University of Washington Medical Center. Somebody I had known for years. Somebody I had had lunch with in the cafeteria. Okay? I told him nothing other than I want to know the analysis of these samples. He said, fine, I'll tell you whatever I find. And about a week and a half later, he called me. He said, I need to talk to you. I went in and talked to him. And he said, where did you get this? And I said, why? And he said, because there's nothing in all of our archives that compare to this. It's some kind of a new species.
And the people that took the samples, those weren't the people that invaded your house and took things out of your house.
They are not. They are not.
Is that what you're trying to ask, Coley?
No, I'm trying to ask if they were his colleagues, like if these are colleagues that could have verified who he was and before, because I was asking
Yes,
if there were
absolutely.
people at
Absolutely. Well, what I need to finish the statement is Roger Haggett, Michael Wessels were two of the doctors that did the analysis. This was before we had, chromosome testing that could be done like within minutes. This took a week to do in those days. And once they had the samples done, he called me, said, I just, want to tell you that it's not anything that I can recognize. There's no specific things that I can tell you. He says, I can tell you where there's some close representation. It has 46 chromosomes like humans do, but 9 of the pair are different. They're far, far different. And they're only comparable to sea tortoise and dolphin. And he says, I want to do the tests again with the rest of the samples. I said, fine. He went back in, and about 3 days later, somebody walked into his office and shot him in the head and killed him. and then killed himself.
Now imagine sending them samples to Ancestry.com. I mean, that stuff
And that's
wasn't around
Dr.
available then.
Roger Haggett, you
Haggett.
said? Okay.
Haggett.
Okay. What year would this have been in?
Oh, about 2000.
Okay. And then people are wondering because you said that you have videos. Can we play the videos and check them out?
They're on YouTube.
Yeah, he does have the videos. They're all
Yeah.
over YouTube. They
Where
are.
could we
If
get
you-
one at? Because we could pull it up. And
Well,
maybe
that's
that would
why
help.
ahead of time, Coley, I said the pictures that I had sent to you and the
I don't have
video.
them.
Really?
Yeah, I
Rodney
sent
said
you a
he
whole
sent
bunch of
them all to
pictures.
you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
see,
I sent a bunch
I
of-
just knew that some of them were not allowed to be seen, so I
Who
did
said
not.
that?
C-
Who said they were not allowed to
No,
be
no,
seen?
there was a certain part of this that wasn't because you have a documentary coming out. So I didn't
Yeah,
want to
I didn't-
show
there
anything
was
that I
no-
wasn't supposed to.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. But if I can pull them up, I can gladly share the screen and I can get them off of. If you could give me a
You
YouTube
can
account,
pull them up.
Sure.
That's why
sure.
I sent them to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a lot of miscommunication getting it going. All the pictures I shared with you, you can share those. Yeah.
Let me say to your audience, this case is very, very complex. It's very difficult to understand, like ABC. It's not simple. It's very
can you send me that?
convoluted. There's so many people that were involved in the initial investigation that's why we set out to make a textbook investigation by somebody who was in the UFO community, who knew how to do this, and would absolutely tell exactly what he found no matter what. And that was Dan McAvoy Sr., and he was from Delaware. And he did a great job, which that information, and he himself has gone all over talking about this case and all of the circumstances that have entailed. His house was broken into. One of his dogs was killed because of people trying to threaten him not to give out information about this case. Like I said, it's so complex, it's difficult for people to understand. I wrote a book about it, and that book is available through Amazon. It's called Link, An Extraterrestrial Odyssey. And I and a co-writer, Robert Ray, put together a book, and we were putting together the book when I first went on Art Bell to tell what had happened to me. I had no book to sell. But the book basically explains all of the initial circumstances and how difficult it is to follow without a program, so to speak.
So can you give me, Rodney, a YouTube channel and I could just pull those up and then I could show the videos and I can get the rest of them? I was just being cautious because I did not know how much of it was from like a documentary, how much of it would.
There is a
No, I didn't
film.
share anything. Anything I shared with you was not from the documentary. None of that
Okay.
was.
There is a film coming out that some people for a couple of years have been chasing me around trying to get me to do a documentary. I finally did. And after, 2.5, 3 years, it's going to be coming out, hopefully within the next few months. It will be out on all the major, what do you call them? Like Netflix and iTunes and all of those major things. There's a trailer for it that will be released probably within the next month. It's called Contact in the Woods, the story of Dr. Jonathan Reed. It is what it is. It's a very different approach to looking at a very unusual situation, to say the least.
I'm trying to find a good video for you. There's a lot of them out there on the YouTube that have his video of him recording the alien in the woods. And there's a part where you can actually see it blink and it closes its eyes slightly, maybe on the table.
That's what you're calling an autopsy, but it was never an autopsy because I never cut into the body. So I didn't have to. It had a hole in its head.
But it was a lot. Is that when it snapped? That's where I'm getting confused. Is this, what day is this? Like, was it snapped too, or was it still dead? Or you thought it was dead, or was
I brought it
repairing
home
itself?
on day one.
Right. This is
3
day
days
what?
later is when I noticed it was alive.
Okay.
And 6 days from that point is when the freezer in the body was gone from my garage. A month later, the body manifested in the room in the corner of my house where I saw it, and it walked over to me, and it was the same little creature. And since then, he won't leave me alone. I think I've become his pet project.
So
for
if he
30
visits
years.
if he visits you regularly, like maybe 2 times a month, what kind of things, if you don't ask him how he got there, what kind of things do happen?
Oh, he speaks 99% telepathy. He's inside your head before you have a chance to even recognize what's going on. All of these things have been discussed in other interviews in detail. So this isn't anything new. It's just out of context of the timeline. But he's talked about all kinds of amazing things, including his own life, his own existence, where he came from, what he's doing, how he was engineered instead of being born. He is a hybrid.
Is this a good video? Will this
Is
explain
what a
it?
good video.
The one that's on here?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, can you not see what's on?
No,
Rodney,
I can't see anything.
are you able to see, Rodney?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the one you're calling an autopsy. I call it just a topical examination. That's where I opened the thermal blanket and recorded what was in there.
yeah. I was trying to find a good one of when you were in the woods.
I've
Yeah,
got
see-
people screaming at me because it's really unfortunate that you guys don't know the story more.
No, but we're trying to help everybody know the story more. There's so many conflictions. Like if you go to research this,
There's
or you go,
only a confliction in your mind.
no,
This
no,
story
no,
has
no, no,
been
no,
told
no,
for
no.
years, Coley.
That is not true. I remember all this coming out. I'm trying. People
you?
in the audience are asking questions. That's why I'm asking you, so you can help them to understand, so we can understand.
Okay. Ask me the questions they're asking, and I'll try to answer them.
Okay, everybody, can you please put your questions again, and I will try. We'll try and go through this in caps so that Jonathan
again,
can ask them.
I realize
Answer them.
how difficult this is for people to understand. I do realize that.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this off, and we'll just do it this way. We'll let the audience then ask the question, so you can see what I'm trying to ask.
Can you
Like
say it again?
that's my job that I'm
Yeah,
supposed to do. So
Yeah.
let's just
Jonathan
do it
doesn't
that
understand.
way.
Well, Jonathan, I don't think goes out on these apps and looks himself up to see what people are saying about him. Because if you do search a search on your name, Jonathan, it does say alleged. It does say different
of
things
course
trying to
it does.
debunk you.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
It always has. I've also given all of my evidence and all of my story in length in 4 hours to the congressional panel that was reviewing evidence of extraterrestrial life and UFOs. So I've presented that.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you do a basic search, if somebody never come across you, that's what they'll find. So they do got to compare their sources and where they're looking
That's right.
to, yeah.
And most of the time, my answer is usually people need to understand the chronology of the story.
Yeah, we did jump around a little bit through it all, but
And basically, that's why we wrote the book. And
Yeah.
my co-author is also one of the people that has been killed, Robert.
a lot of people have been affected by this. That's why, I've said before that they think it's okay to get close and learn about these things, but it's a dangerous topic, isn't it?
Well, it can be, and I've tried to make it as simple as possible for people to understand. That's also will be coming out in the documentary, which will shake the foundation that everybody thinks about regarding extraterrestrial life.
Okay, here's a question from Andrew Rollins. Do you think that that the being was made and not it's kind of
Yes,
born?
he was engineered. He was not born.
It was kind of, for some reason, it was kind of breaking up. Yeah. And people are wondering if they could see a picture of Freddy.
You've got him. I sent him to you.
Yeah, you can share any of the pictures I shared with you, Coley. You can put up.
Are those the ones are they in the chat that we have on Facebook, or are they in my phone?
There,
I'll
I
pull
sent
them
them
up.
to your. Yeah, I sent them to everywhere. I sent them all to
Okay,
Messenger.
I'll
And I
pull
put
up the
'em in a
messenger
text
right
message.
now, and then that way
Yep.
we can just get this. Like I said, I did not want to.
And I hear you kicked out Holly Hunter,
What?
somebody that was helping me explain things in your messaging. You supposedly kicked her out.
Holly's one of Jonathan's close friends that was in the chat.
She's a team member. She's one of
Yeah.
my team.
We
And
didn't
she's-
know what was going on because she was jumping on everybody that was trying to ask questions. So we didn't know if she was with you or not. So I don't find this funny, but let me pull this up really quickly. This is like a not a normal response to something like this, and it's bothering me. But I'll be right back.
Rodney,
Yeah.
this is the problem that this case has come against time after time, is when people don't understand the chronology, or they don't understand the amount of complexity to it, they just can't follow it. And I totally understand. I totally agree. And, especially after 30 years of living with this and going around the world talking about this, talking with other people who have had contact, it is difficult.
There's no pictures in the chat on Facebook, so I'm gonna go through my phone now. So Jonathan, you didn't send them to me, but I'll see if Rodney had.
Yeah, I sent them to you, Coley. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying they're not in Facebook chat, so I'll have to pull them up. I'm gonna email them to myself here really quick, and then we'll pull them up.
Anyway, I apologize to your audience for not having more of this information readily available. The pictures are part of the evidence. They were 35 millimeter, genuine, still camera pictures with negatives that have been verified and authenticated by Kodak, by professionals. Mr. Art Bell, who was the first radio personality who told my story, did his own investigation of the pictures and the video and the equipment used. People say that actually right now, just recently, Y-Files did a cameo on my case, indicating that it was done by either the videos were done either by a professional, what do you call it, Rodney?
Like a Hollywood studio. Yeah. I
Right,
mean,
right.
these photos could only they're either real or they're done, but they're really good hoax because you know how much time and money it would take to create something like this. A lot. Why would Jonathan Reed create something like that? I mean, how many
Well,
people would have to be involved in it?
I'm
Even
certainly not a special effects
right.
artist, nor did I have any uh, access to that. I'm just a normal guy taking normal pictures with my Nikon camera, 35 millimeter, non-digital. This was all prior to digital. That's another thing that people need to understand. You know, all the video and all of the photographs are non-digital. Digital didn't exist back then. It wasn't available.
Yeah, if anybody wants to see any of the pictures that we're talking about, message me directly if you know how to get a hold of me, and I'll send you everything that Jonathan has shared with us.
Right? And normally we would have a website, but every time we put a website up, it somehow miraculously gets taken down
I'm
by
I'm gonna pull up
government.
the pictures sent, but I don't have any video was not sent. Is there, Rodney? Is there a way you could, even if you didn't have camera, that you could come in with your laptop and just share a screen and pull it up? Because
No,
I can
if I try to, I can share the pictures on here. I'll have to leave this thing real quick. Okay, I can leave and
I
come
can
back
get
in the
the
studio.
pictures if you have the video.
The
Video.
video is on YouTube. Okay, so it will have to be taken from there.
Do you know the channel? And I can pull that right up.
No, I don't.
You want the video of him in the woods when he's all? I mean, you can hear his emotion.
No, we
When-
want to hear about they want to see, is the video you guys want to see of the alien, right?
They want
Yeah,
to
the
see
alien
everything.
in the woods. There's a video of him in the woods videotaping this
Yeah.
alien.
Okay.
And then there's the videotape of him taking after he took it out of the freezer and examined it.
Yeah, they want to see both of those. I think we were talking about the one in the freezer when they were asking.
Right. Where you can see the wound, you can see the hole in his head, you can see the blood and the tissue of his skull. It's all there.
It is hard to find on here, Jonathan. It is. I ain't gonna lie. I can find videos where you're going back and you're showing people where it happened. I'm finding where you were on Art Bell.
Well, that's good information too. If people really want to know the chronology of this whole thing, they should go back to Art Bell's archives and listen to the first few interviews, which started in 1998.
I'd like
And I'm
them to
just-
see the one where you were in the woods. I'm trying to find a video after you first started recording, after you first hit it upside the head, because they'll hear your heavy breathing. They're gonna
Yeah,
hear you
that's
throwing
the-
up.
That's the one in the forest. It's the one in the woods.
Yeah, that's hard video to find. I'm not gonna lie, it is. I've
Well,
seen it.
It was there this morning, but
Do you know
I
what
don't know
channel
the
had it up, or who you would have given it to that they would put it up for you?
I don't know the exact location. I'm sorry. Like I said, we've had websites, but they immediately get removed.
Okay, I have some of the pictures I can pull up. I just took screenshots of. Let me get those, Rodney, if you could look for those other ones. But yeah, I'll share what, and if I have to pull them individually, I'll do that. So,
You see, I'm finding videos too that are showing this link bracelet as being gold, and it's not gold. There's a lot of videos that are fake out there. I'm seeing, Coley, but
yeah, no, and that was a thing too, where they said that some people are saying, and I'd like, I was just hoping to get clarity that that in fact was an etch, that it was painted and it was Velcroed. So I'm just wondering if there was like, just to help Jonathan maybe clarify some of this up.
I don't know what you're talking about, Velcro.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna pull these pictures up really quick here. Let's see here.
you want me to share this to you in a text or in Messenger?
Yeah, if you could, because I can just upload it then to, I don't know, I'm trying to share the screen. I just a second here. Yeah, if you do that, Rodney, then I can, it will drop it into Google Pics and I can share it from there because that's what I'm doing right now. So,
All right.
let's see. I'm gonna add this up there.
I sent you this one. It's when Jonathan, when you put the bracelet on it, was it in Canada?
Yes, right outside of Toronto in a television studio.
Are you guys able to see that up on stage? Because I, for whatever
Yeah, it was
reason-
just up there. Yeah, you got it up
so
there.
I
see it.
can't see the.
Yeah,
like-
it's shuffling. Well, there it is.
Okay, so if I pull this right here up, is that enough for people to? Okay, so I'm just gonna pull, because I can't see anything for whatever reason. It's not letting me. So this right here, as you're saying, was the craft that you got, Jonathan, in the.
First
Yeah,
of
that's
all,
the-
I can't see it.
Yeah, he can't see. That is the craft
Yes,
there. Yeah.
that is the craft. That the black.
So is that just out there hovering? Was that?
That's it. Yep,
how-
3
how
feet
many-
off the ground. And I have video of that also, walking around it.
And when did you take that video? How many days would that have been into it?
That was the first day I encountered the ET in the forest.
Okay. Let's see here.
The
Okay.
day that I hit it in the head.
And I think this
There's
is
there's a picture, 4 pictures of who I call Freddie. I gave him a name.
Okay, let's see if we can pull.
Yeah, that's Representative Tim Burchett. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's tied in with Tom Reed. Let's see here. So this is him right there. What would he have been laying on?
The thermal blanket.
In your garage on a table.
Yes, on the floor.
Okay, let me see if I can find. I know there was some more of. Okay,
That
yeah,
picture there is probably one of the best, most clear pictures. I just
Yeah.
rotated it so it would be upright.
Look at the eyes, Coley. It's even got the red in the eyes, like people getting when you take a picture of them. You know how red shows up in the old pictures? The eyes used to turn
Yeah.
red. They don't do that in cameras anymore. Not digital.
But okay. Did it had a red eye? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying when people take pictures, it shows up red in their eyes. Back when we had film,
Oh, I get what you're saying.
The
see
reflection
the red
of
in its eyes.
the back
In
of
digital
your
pictures,
eye.
that don't happen.
No, but it's like something outside of its eye. It's definitely not. I don't think that's a part of its eye because the other one doesn't have it. It looks like it's almost like something laying on top of its eye. But I was looking before to see if it had, because it's pupils. Because that usually you don't see.
Yeah.
ET with it's usually anytime I've seen it, they've had the black, but I've heard before. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm trying to look at it
Well,
closely.
zoom in on the ocular, on the eye part there, right where you can see his eye good. Now, do you see how it's sunk in on his eye? His eye cavity is actually quite a bit bigger.
If you look at the picture where my hands are pulling his eyelids open, you can see the inner workings of his eye.
So there's a picture where you're opening his eye. Let me see if I can find it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It might be in the collage picture, one of the collages. I'm looking.
Because I literally just like grabbed screenshots when I saw it. I thought,
That's okay, Coley. We're making it work.
And people have always indicated that, well, there isn't a body, it's just a head. Well, in that photograph, you can see there's a whole body there.
And you can see the black uniform he was wearing in that top picture.
Right. I tried to cut that off with an X-Acto knife, and every time I cut it, it just closed itself until the third time I cut a 6-inch slit in it, right in the center under his chest, and it just closed up and wouldn't allow the X-Acto knife to be pulled down again. so it wouldn't allow it to be cut. So the suit is intelligent. And in
Yeah, I knew you were.
in 2009, NASA released some information that they had discovered and created a new fabric that was self-healing for their spacesuits. Remember, I
Probably
took
some.
these pictures in 1996.
It's probably some kind of nanobot technology. Is that what was in his
Well,
DNA?
possibly. But, there's also another phenomena. Since he's been conscious, I can no longer record him on videotape or film. He can't be photographed. There's a technology from the suit that somehow removes the ability to take a picture. It totally fogs up or doesn't resonate or isn't recordable. And I've talked to people all over the world who have seen and tried to take pictures of them in the same respect, and they get the same reaction. There's no recordability if they have the black suit on. Rodney?
Yeah, I'm looking for that video still. I think I found it. It's on by the Faceless Planet. It's got an interview with you. It's one of your first ones. You're in a car, and I think that one has the link to you being in the woods. There's a few YouTube channels that have covered you very extensively, for sure.
Well, as much as the videos have been put up, they're also taken down. And of course, nobody knows why they're taken down or who is, the culprit of taking them down. But basically, we know they don't want this information out. Nobody has ever wanted this information out, and they'll do everything they can to disprove it and make it unavailable. But, I'm no longer trying to prove this at all. I know what happened. The circumstances have been investigated and proven who I am, what I am, where I went to school, and just the fact that my credentials are no longer there doesn't mean I didn't go there, because the professors that taught me have verified that. Some of them are not dead, but Dan McAvoy has this material that was all founded when I first met with Wendell Stevens, Don Ware, Robert Dean, and I've done interviews with all of them, and also John Mack, Dr. John Mack.
Do you have those? Would those be on YouTube? Those interviews?
They should be.
I'm gonna ask the audience. Hey guys, I know that you guys are really proficient with YouTube. Could you do because I'm coming up empty-handed. Can you guys, somebody in the audience, one of the branches, do a search yourselves too and see if we can't find these so we can get them out there and see what's going on?
And this again is why the people wanted to make the film on my life and my situation, because it's hard to find. These things are hard to find. And if you don't
Dr. Jonathan Reed, do you have them that you could send to my to Facebook really quickly and I could share that?
No, I don't.
Who you said somebody took your footage from VHS tapes and put it on a digital, like a thumb drive, was it? Or?
It's put on digital. I'll have to locate that.
Ben Hansen?
No.
What was the name? I forget. Somebody helped you.
Well, a lot of people have helped me. You mean Dan McAvoy? The guy that did the investigation? Rodney?
The person that put the VHS footage onto digital format for you.
Oh, that was just another friend of a friend who did that.
Does your friend that was in the chat, does she have a way to get that to us?
No.
Holly, that's what I was saying.
With
It's
this,
hot and Holly does.
yeah. So now that we know Holly's not, like, yeah, we could. She should be able to. Is this right here? Any of this? Like, I see the craft. Then I see. Would this be?
Those are
something?
some of the pictures. Those are some of the video.
Okay. Well, let's start here then.
The Odyssey Link website is no more. It's not available. It's been taken down.
Who was that? Your link?
I'm sorry?
We'll just watch it really
He
quick.
could have at any time totally, physically taken me out. But he felt, I think, some empathy for my remorse, both in the loss of Susie, which I do believe he didn't understand until he started this communication. And then he was extremely intrigued by my feelings for something else, my own love or compassion for something else. And that's what I got the feeling from Freddie, that he did not have this ability. He did not have the ability to have these kind of feelings. And he was truly embracing his moments with me because he'd never had this before. Almost like as if we would go and get drunk on something that we only had heard about and never had the opportunity to really experience, and now he had.
I'm gonna fast forward because it looks like this is all documented on this channel. This is part 17.
Credence to that idea, or is that a misconception of what that experience was all about?
I think it's a misunderstanding. I think the people that are hounding me are doing it in a twofold reason. Number one, they physically think I am still associated with the hardware, the artifact, and that I have the ability to immediately retrieve it, or that I still have it in my possession, which I don't. And I think at the other side of that coin, they think that the value of the information that's in my head is, in fact, tremendously valuable. I would agree that it has a tremendous value, but only if it's understood.
And potentially used correctly?
Exactly. Not only used, but
This one, I'm wondering there was no. But is this where are we at now? Is this one? This says part 10. Is this
I
when
have
you're
no
driving?
idea. I have no idea what you're looking at.
Yeah, he can't see it that well. I sent you
okay.
one where he's putting the link bracelet actually on and disappears on stage.
This is showing from a. It says Dr. Reed case. It looks like they have everything into different parts. So I'm just wondering if it looks.
it's really bittersweet to come back to this area. You know, it was my home. It's where I worked. Where I ate, met my friends.
You found it?
Yeah, it's in the family study.
I sent it to him. Okay.
Very good.
Hey, Rodney.
Yes.
It's inaudible what you guys are talking about. So to me,
Okay. Your audio is not that good. But yeah. I'm sorry.
It was just
There
showing
is a
him. 'Cause
video.
here- Oh, can you still see it? Because I'm saying he's got a camera right here, and it looks like he's going. And thank you so much, Benno. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Yeah, that's when he went back and revisited the site and was explaining to them what happened.
Okay. So let me go. There's like part 11. They go all the way through. So part 1, but this must be. I don't see any.
Yeah,
That was
there's
all
one of
done.
them in there that
That was all
shows
done
you.
about 2005.
Okay, let's see here.
There's
Rodney, do you
one that's
see?
titled Dr. Jonathan Reed, the Link Artifact Video.
Okay. Or do you have it? Do you want to pull it up? Or is it on
I
this?
sent it to you on Messenger.
Okay, let me pull up
It's
Messenger
a
then.
3-minute
Okay.
video. That's when he put the artifact on and he went invisible on Canadian TV.
Okay, let me check this out. I'll pull it up real quick. Thank you so much, Rodney. I get that pulled up and that will help big time because I just couldn't find anything.
Or he went back.
It's on the 9th day after YouTube
I
channel.
see the link artifact. Okay, so I'm gonna
Yep.
pull this up, and I saw Cassie had sent something too. So I'll go ahead and let me
Yeah, that-
share this really quick.
I sent
Okay.
the link to the video.
And
The link you sent her was the autopsy, well, the examination.
No, that was just a link to page.
Yeah, that was just a link to the page that she sent you.
Yeah, well,
oh,
the
okay.
picture.
I
Yeah,
got you.
the one I sent you though, Dr. Jonathan Reed, the Link Artifact video is a good one.
I
Perfect.
sent you
got
the
that
one with the.
Whoever's helping, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Jonathan.
Oh, it's Cassie. I see.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully I can come through the live. And so right here, you're showing the artifact off, John, on
Yes.
Canadian TV.
Yes. It's an afternoon talk show that I was asked if I wanted to show it, and I said I would. So I am basically explaining what it is, where it came from, who I am, and the principles of what I know of how it works, which are probably very incorrect, but at the time I had to do what I had available. So every time I've ever taken this device out, I figured it was the last time because I figured I'd either be killed or it'd be stolen.
How many times have you put that bracelet on in total?
Oh, 7 or 8.
And what happened when you put these on? Is this the first time right here you ever put it on, or how
Oh,
many
no,
times
no, it's not.
at this
It's,
point?
I had done it several times previous to this. That's why I was explaining it in detail of what it feels like, what happens when the pins penetrate your arm into your muscle, into the nerve, and what it feels like. That there's a great thrombosis that happens inside of your body, almost like you're having a heart attack, that emulates all out to your extremities until it starts to take hold. Now, I believe that this device is like a cell phone in that you're just communicating with the people who own it, who operate it. You're not operating it. It has very little to do with operation other than they're saying you're going to be taken.
Just looking like-
Why is it the video so?
Because
what
as
are
soon
all
as
these
it starts to
lines?
function, all video and all electronics start to distort.
No, but it was distorted before. That's what I was wondering about.
Actually, it wasn't. If you watch it again, you'll see that it doesn't start distorting.
There's like lines all over is what I was saying.
Yeah, he's saying the bracelet interferes with it. That's when the point when it started interfering like it is now.
Yeah, well,
The video I
obviously,
seen it showed a nice flash of light.
Oh, okay. Because do you see what I'm saying? Like it's showing lines through so it's hard to see from the start. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like, as soon as it
you're
comes
correct.
up,
It's
see those
distorting.
lines?
It's definitely distorting.
One's autograph.
Some people have said, who are much more technical than me, that if you put a huge amount of
No.
if you place a camera in a huge magnetic field, it will distort like that.
We all know who that is.
Yeah.
George
Well, he's not
Knapp.
talking about me.
So there's an inner circle right now that we're not going to name any names, that does still have the some of the evidence for you, or is that all gone?
Yes, there is. My team possesses the evidence so that it's not in my possession. It's never in my possession, nor do I know who has it. It could be one of 6 people, and they have the ability to retrieve it, but I don't know where that is. I don't want to know where it is, because if I know where it is, then people could get to that information.
It is, Coley. It is very hard to find good videos on the examination that he did on the table, the walkthrough in the woods. I'll make some more clips, and I apologize we didn't have all that stuff ready for you guys.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There is so much out there, and without it being available, it's
Yeah, but
difficult to
we would
follow.
just like if you had it, because you said you had sent it to me, Jonathan. That's why I'm wondering if you could, whatever you thought you sent, you could resend that. We could pull it up real quick.
I sent it to Rodney.
Yeah, he sent me just pictures. Is all he sent me. No videos. So you're not very tech savvy. You don't keep
I
these
am not
videos.
tech savvy at all. I'm lucky if I can do email.
So your friend, Gary, was he Gary?
Yes,
Not that
yes.
was your best friend. Now, who's the guy that helped you start writing the book? Did he
Robert
have a
Race
no?
was
Did he have a YouTube channel?
he did, and it got taken down often.
Okay.
And he's dead and no more. He's been dead for about 4 years. Gary is dead. He's been dead since the beginning back in 2000.
And so you got to be careful, because there is photos out there too that people are claiming is Jonathan's pictures, and they're not. They're showing beings on a foil blanket like he has it, but it's got longer fingers. It's not wearing
Thank
the
you.
uniform.
Thank you. You're
Those
right,
aren't real
Rodney.
photos, are they?
People have tried to bootleg and debunk, as everybody does, and I understand that. I mean, people are interested, but it's just it's a shame that all that gets mixed up with some of the other material. But
You're
it
not the
is
only
what it
one.
is.
You're not the only one who's gets battered, really, and ambushed in a sense, like you the word you use. There's many people in the community who are legitimate experiencers that also are, because they don't want that out there. We're living
That's
in a
right.
time now, though, where we're closer than ever, and everybody knows that this phenomena is real.
Well, the phenomena is real, and I think most of the people who are really savvy into the subject know that. We're never going to have disclosure like people assume should happen. The government is never going to say, we've lied to you for the last 100 years, and we've had the bodies and the proof and the engineering. They're never going to say that. They're going to leak pictures now and then from the Navy and from the Air Force. They're going to say, yes, we don't know exactly what this is, and we're investigating. But they're never going to say what I'm going to tell you. They're here. They've been here. They've colonized on this planet. They are living amongst us. And they are breeding from our planet. this is not something that they're just coming in spaceships from other planets. They're coming interdimensionally from other existence, from another dimension. They use dimension to travel. And the government knows this, but they're never going to divulge this. Why? Because they can't. Because they will use this to control us as long as they can, as long as they can control the money stream. This is the whole process.
If they can't control money and they can't make money on it, they're not going to let us have the technologies.
Well, they're going to control the public by dripping little bits and pieces of information in front of us, thinking that, oh, they're just finding more and more to present to us. Well, that's not true. None of that is true. The people who have even been interviewed have said that there is an ongoing state of disinformation that's being put up in front of all kinds of people, that people are being intimidated and harassed and killed for this type of information. This is an ongoing state of affairs. And if people don't think that's true, they should look at what the U.S. government has done over the years and concealed from the public. Not just about extraterrestrial life, but about, warfare in general.
Well, there's many people like yourself that they'll try to discredit, make you look crazy, take everything away from. They had what was his name? Paul Benowitz, Travis Walton.
There's a lot of people who have had experiences, encounters. There just aren't as many who have hard physical evidence. But all of us have joined together in a at least a sympathetic way to say, we know that this goes on, we know that it's been hidden from the public, and it's going to be continually hidden. They're going to put up a smokescreen that says, here is a picture, here is a video, here is someone from the retired Navy or Air Force who's seen different things that they can't explain. This is an ongoing process. But it's not disclosure like people assume or would like disclosure to be. They can't do that because they'd have to admit they've been lying to the world to control their own power, their own reserve of power and political might.
And you've been shot 3 times.
Yes, I have.
And was that all 3 times in Canada?
No, U.S. and Canada.
Where were you shot?
In the head twice and in the chest and shoulder. All that has been documented, photographed.
So you were shot 4 times on 3 occasions?
Yes. The guy that I was with when I was shot was killed. He was shot with a rifle, long-range rifle.
Were any of the people that shot you, have they ever been caught? Are they?
Well, I don't know, but somehow one of them got run over twice. But I can't tell you information on that.
All right.
People are asking if you have any scars or pictures of the
yes,
medical
I do.
Too.
Yes, Coley, I have scars
I'm
in my
asking
shoulder,
for the people. They're
my
wondering if
shoulder,
they can see them.
my head. Like I said, that's all been documented.
They're wondering where they can find the documentation. I'm just asking for the audience because they're the people that keep us here. They're the reason that we do what
most
we
of
do.
it is on YouTube. Because every time we put up a website, it gets taken down. Some of the information is in the book.
The scars on your head aren't somewhere where they're visible?
Well, they're in amongst my hair.
Okay.
But the photographs that were taken within 6 hours after it happened are pretty clear.
And so when can we expect this documentary to get released, which is going to have all
Well,
this stuff
it's
on it?
coming. It's coming. They're excited about the release of it, and the political machine that causes these things, these kind of movies to be released, is in the motion. And the people who've seen it are very excited about it. It's very unusual. It's very different, and it's very telling.
No, there was a time when I was first started doing research. I did come across your case, and I told you I did walk away from it because there was a lot of debunking. But I came back to it and felt that it deserved. I should still give it attention and see what it's all about. And it looks pretty legit to me. Yes, people are gonna try to discredit the real
Well,
deal because they don't want it out there.
Rodney, that what people say to me is they say, when this case will be blown wide open is once you're dead.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to sit around and wait for disclosure. It's going to come from people like everybody on the screen now.
But we're Rodney, you're an experiencer, I'm an experiencer. We are trying to get information out there that proves, and that we want to work with you, Jonathan, on things like this so we can understand and help the people to understand. We're
Sure.
experiencers also. This hits home. We're not debunkers.
Oh,
We're not skeptics.
What was
We're
your experience, Coley?
I was taken in 2017. I went into a craft that was 50 foot in diameter. I stood 30 feet away. MUFON measured it.
Do you have photographs of it?
Yes, I do.
Great. Where are they?
Oh, I can pull them up right now. I
Well, we
pulled them up.
should. We should pull
You know
them
what?
up
I did a show yesterday with Paranormal Paul, and I pulled them all up. If Rob, could you grab that? Because they'll all be on there. I put all my evidence. I had it all on me. Markings and all. They're all
Great.
on
Yep.
the interview I did yesterday.
I'm excited.
Yeah. He's not trying to put you on the spot. He just is excited.
No.
legitimately.
I really want to give this, but the show isn't about me and everybody's seen them, but I want to get him this link and
But
everybody else so you can see
what I
the
try to
difference
tell
here.
everybody whenever I talk about this isn't about me. This is about all of us who have had experiences, all of us that can't explain it, that maybe do or don't have credible evidence, but we're still credible people. We still have a story to tell, and by putting all of this together, it's like a mosaic of all the parts and pieces that we put together from all the people all over the world, proves that there's something going on. We're not all having a mass delusion.
No, definitely not. Unless that's the reason why the president mentioned about bringing back insane asylums and mental institutions. It's not for us.
Rob, can you grab that link from Paranormal Paul's show yesterday?
No, it is great though when we can have evidence, and when we do grab the evidence, as an experiencer myself, we keep chasing, looking for that next one because we want that validation to show everybody, yes, look, see, but in the end, the more I've done this, I'm done looking for validation, looking for evidence. I've found a lot of the answers I'm looking for at this point in my research.
And in my case, Rodney and Coley, one of the unfortunate things is I've compiled all these evidence and the people who put it together, and they end up dead.
I know, and I understand that, like, we're to a point where we don't want to prove it, but Rodney, you keep receipts, I keep receipts, we keep as much as we can to prove our stamp, because if we had nothing and you're making these claims, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard.
My life has been so well examined over the last 20 years that it's insane. Let me just tell you, it's insane. And when I understand people want to see validation and they want to see documentation, but I've often said something which is really true. You can't document everything. Not everything is documentable. Okay. Sometimes there's evidence that happens or that 2 or 3 people see something, but yet there's no way they can physically have evidence of that fact.
You know what I've learned? The evidence that I have caught, when I go back and revisit it, and then I learn things from it. What I've learned now is my latest video, no matter how much I put it out there and tell them what it is, people don't believe it. It's an orb in the distance. I just got this less than 6 months ago. It's just sitting there. I pulled over and get a video of it, and it starts moving towards me at a rapid pace. It's like, oh wow. And I'm keep videoing. And then you can see what it is. It was a drone. It didn't shapeshift. These things aren't going to shapeshift from a ball of light into a drone. We need to stop looking at these things because you're just seeing a ball of light that once it gets near you, it's allowing you to see what it really is. There's 4 of these things parked 5 minutes from me. If I could take a drive right now, I could show you guys. Some of these orbs are technology hidden behind a ball of light.
That's right.
Nothing more.
Right. And some of them, I believe, or most of them, I think, are unmanned. I think
Yeah.
they're controlled by remote control, and we've done the research that says nothing can live through the amount of G forces that are exerted when they turn 90 degrees, within a second, and are going, 35,000 miles an hour and turn around and go the other way instantaneously. Life that we know couldn't exist in those circumstances. Now, but you have to realize the physics that are going on within these things are unknown to us. So our way of measuring things is pretty limited.
Well, there is
I mean,
somebody
they're probably a million years in advance of us, of where our technology is.
Yeah. Well, we are going on almost 9:30, 10:30, 11, almost 3 hours.
Yeah, we can definitely wrap it up. But you can see, they're just showing, like, letting it play in the background. There's the markings. So when you go back and you look at the show, you'll be able to see how they match up and the drawings that I have. I'll explain it all, but the link is definitely in the chat, and I can send that to you.
I'm sorry, Coley.
No.
sorry.
I'm just, I don't think
That's
you can
great.
see it. I'm just letting him know that I
That's
did
great.
produce my evidence. So
Yeah.
But how can you prove it?
I got it.
No, I
Exactly.
know. You know what he's saying, Coley. Doesn't matter what you take a picture of. You see what you see, but people aren't always going to see what we see
But
when
I
we
still
show them
have
pictures.
pictures and I have videos. That's all I'm
Right.
gonna say. Like,
That's great.
I'm
So do I.
producing them where you don't have them. You don't have them. That's why
Well, you don't
you're
have them
looking
at the
for
moment, but I have
No, we
produced
asked
them.
you for them. You said you didn't have them.
I said I don't have them now. I didn't say they weren't produced. They were produced. They've been produced for years. They're out there. They're on YouTube and other people's sites. So what I'm saying is I no longer am interested in trying to prove something because I've done that I did it for 15 years and to the point where I proved it to the government that I was who I was and that I did have this information that all I could do is state it and show it. And I did. And so I've got some verification and some vindication by doing this. I would say to anyone, if you have an experience, document it as best you can, and then be careful who you share that information with, because you never know what will happen next. So,
You know what the biggest question was building up to this show tonight from everybody wanted me to ask you, and I knew I'd been better than to ask you, was tell him to bring the bracelet on and put it on and disappear. He's like, he can't do that because they'll know where the bracelet is and they'll take
well, at the end of the show, I will disappear, but not with the bracelet.
it.
But I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
I've shown more photographed more, and exposed more evidence than anybody else has in documented cases. And if people go back through all this information and they go back through all the interviews that I've done and they see that information, then you'll know. But like I've always said, it's a very complex case, and I don't expect anybody to believe it.
I'll tell you what,
without
Jonathan, you send us a list of that, and I will get it out to the audience, and that way they can go through it for the next time. You give me a list, and I'll make sure that it gets out to everybody, and that way they do have it. They can look at it.
Okay, well, we'll do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff
that
we
would
didn't
be
put.
great.
Yeah, we definitely got to do a part 2. There's a lot of stuff that Jonathan didn't talk about that we could still talk about too.
And I appreciate the time and the patience of the audience. And again, I say, if I hadn't experienced it all myself, I wouldn't believe it either.
All right. Well, on that note, Jonathan, where can people find you?
Basically on Facebook for now, because I don't have a website. Every time I put it up, it gets taken down. So you can contact me by private messaging.
They can ask you, okay.
By private messaging on Facebook, and my Facebook page is Jonathan Reed, not doctor, just Jonathan Reed.
Perfect. All right, and Rodney, anything before we close?
Thank you. I say thank you for your time, your patience, and the ability to talk with your audience. Thank you again. God bless us all.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Reed, for your time. And we're gonna make sure we get your story out there. There is a lot more people than you think that aren't familiar with your case. We got a whole new generation of ufologists coming forward.
And the new documentary movie will be coming. You'll see everywhere. There will be a trailer for it, and it will be out there.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you again.
Yep, you're welcome. And on that note, thank you for taking the journey into the unknown with SNX Radio. I'm Coley. We will be back on Friday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time with Paranormal Paul, who I was on his show yesterday. That's a link that was dropped in by Blazer, so definitely go over and check him out. If you guys have not checked out Bigfoot Michigan Rob, definitely get over there and do so. He's got a great channel. Thank you so much to the Wrenches and everybody for asking the great questions. That's exactly what we want to do. And until next time,
hi to Michigan.
We'll be seeing you. Fly to Michigan.
I said hi to Michigan.
Oh, hi to Michigan. Hi to Michigan.
I have relatives in Michigan.
Oh, okay. Well, hi. Oh, for Bigfoot Michigan Rob, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, what part of Michigan? Maybe Rob?
Central, up by Grand Rapids.
I think he's by Detroit or area. I don't know for sure if that's...
No, by Grand Rapids.
Yes, by Grand Rapids, your family is. So,
yeah, that's not by Detroit.
To Michigan. No. On that note...
Lights in the sky, flashing bright tonight. Call the UFO, taking flight outside. From the stars above, beaming down that glow. Alien party, everybody know. Heart beating fast, feel the energy rise. Hands in the air, reach up to the skies. No gravity here, we're floating free. Holy, come dance with me. Holy,
contacts shine.